A brother of mine in the United States of America requested that I do a video on African parenting style versus affection to children. I accepted the offer. However, I had to pray and consult first to gain wisdom in order to come up with something as simple as possible yet comprehensible. Being the then African child and now a parent, we do not approach the table of our parents with disrespect. So this is me coming in honor and respect to appreciate all that our previous parents have done in raising some of us to who we are today, and to apologize in advance during the course of the video if I say anything that is offensive. It is not intentional, just that I want to use the mistakes that we are making as African parents as a soundboard in order to correct some of the things that we are doing as the now parents to mold our children and develop them, nurture them in a way that they will be in a position to compete globally if we want to change African continent. It is significant to note that African parents do not quite get along with showing affection to children, and because of that, it is important with the changes that are happening around the globe that we revisit our parenting style to ensure that we are not making some of the mistakes our parents made in order to help our children and help the world at the same time. Hi, my name is Stella Luca and I'm all for family and work-life balance. So, because this topic is a little bit wide and broad, I've decided to break this video into 3 parts. Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. Now, this is Part 1, where we lay foundation of the whole topic, and then it's just an introductory bit of the topic, African parenting style versus affection. And then in the second part, we will talk about the parenting style that African parents use and its impact on our children. And then the third part of the video will be about how to effectively show affection to our own children. All right, with that said, if you think this topic is of value, I would request that you will subscribe, like, share, and then tell your friends that there is this topic online that I am talking about so that they can join us. If we join forces, imagine we will not only change our children, but we will change the continent, we will change our children as Africans, we will change the continent of Africa, and then we'll also be able to change the world if we work together. It all starts with me and it all starts with you. You can even ask our old African parents to join us in order to share with us and what they think we can correct, or some of the things, their mistakes, what they regret, how we can change. So let's just gather together and try to see as parents how we can improve and be better parents, and also better the life of our own children. Let's just go right in and see what is being said about children and then the love for children. I read an article by Erica Lamberg on parenting advice. She wrote an article and she said the most valuable gifts that someone can give a child is love, stability, and acceptance. She mentioned that it's important to love our children. So it's not necessarily that they have to be biological children, but if a child has been placed under your protection and care, imagine you owe it to them to make them feel loved, make them feel accepted, and then also to make them feel safe by giving them a stable home. That is what Erica Lamberg is saying in her article, Parenting Advice. I can leave these resources in the description below. Okay, so that is what some of the researchers are saying. So I wanted to know further what God says about children and our responsibility towards our own children. I'm a Christian, by the way, and to me, everything that I do is based on the principles of the Bible. So it is important for me to find out what God says about children. Children are a blessing. Why do I say that they are a blessing to mankind? Because if you go to the book of Psalms chapter 127, verse 3 to 5, I'm using English Standard Version, ESV. It says, "Behold, children are a heritage from the Lord, the fruit of the womb, a reward." That's why they are a blessing. They are a heritage from God, and God has given them to us as a reward. So when God gives you a responsibility, that means that He has employed you, He has appointed you, and He has nominated you to co-create with Him by His side. You don't take such kind of task for granted. Maybe this explains why our parents were tough, because they wouldn't bear to see that we go astray. So they did what they could do to ensure that we are straight. We grow to be better people, to be strong. So this is what Bible says. I wanted to also see what He says after giving this reward to mankind. What does He say? What do we do with this reward? So this is what I found out in the book of Proverbs chapter 22 verse 6. Again, I'm using English Standard Version. It says, "Train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it." Notice, God has given us this reward, but He didn't just give it to us to do whatever it is we want to do with it. He wants us to help Him nurture these children, train these children in a way that they will be like us and even better than us in doing whatever it is that He wants these children to do. So He has given us this reward, but He has tasked us to ensure that we train them. Now we see where African parents are coming from, because they have been given the responsibility to ensure that these children are trained and they grow straight. That's why they were beaten, were caned properly. Even in schools, were beaten. I don't know about other people, but I was caned properly. I don't even remember how many times I was caned. I was properly caned. So, if we look at this, how do we now train these children? What principles do we use? I was listening to a sermon online by Apostle Joshua Salman. Thank you, sir. If you may allow me use your words to explain something in this video. He said that God operates on three principles. God operates on faith, God operates on hope, and God operates on love. Above all, God is love. That's what He said. So now if you look at the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 13, it says, "So now faith, hope, and love abides, these three, but the greatest of these is love." I'm using the English Standard Version. This confirms what Apostle Joshua was saying. For God to operate, He uses faith, which stands for trust, hope, which stands for belief, and love, which stands for sacrifice. You see, so for us to be able to raise these children as He has instructed us, then we need to use the same tools that he is using for his action in handling the world. Because someone said that love is not just a noun, but a verb as well. That means love is not just a name, but it is a doing one. So when we say we love our children, then it has to be accompanied by an action of affection to demonstrate to our children that we love them. Not love is also mentioned here as one of the important ingredients in the process of raising children. Again, if we look at what Muslims think of children and how they expect children to be loved, an author by the name of Tariq Bilal mentioned in his writings that the Quran doesn't have to tell parents how to love their children. It is a basic and natural instinct that has been instilled in their hearts. So the parents of Muslims are also expected to love their children willingly. It is a mandate that has been placed on us by God and by nature. So we have to do it and do it right. Now, further to this, I have also learned the right time to train children is from the age of 2 years old to 12 years old. Now, if you look at what God is saying in the book of Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6, it says, train this child so that when they are older, they will not depart from it. Meaning, the right time to train is from the young age. Out. Come, I tell you as I go. So you bring that one from there, here like this, up to here. Just this area down there is okay. Just this area where people have eaten, down there like this, you put them together and eat the lunch. That's simple. But you remove the things, put the what in their places. Take a rag, that one, and clean the table very well. Brandon, you still came back here?
No, I'm first putting this rubbish there and then I come back.
Yeah, I have by right.
Yes, sir.
So if you train this child from the age of 2, by the time you reach 12, that is it. No more training. After the age of 12, adolescent kicks in. They have opinion, and they believe that they are semi-adults at that point. So they will not be listening to what it is that you are saying. Rather, they will be implementing what you taught them. Because that has been part of their life, that is what they were used to, that's what they would use. So if you come in, for those of us who are parenting from afar, and you just abandon your children with somebody, and you come when the child is 7, 8, that is very late. You know, yes, you will train the children, but you will not be able to train them to the level that is expected. Because the period will be short. They would have missed a stage. So it is important that we make sure that from that toddler level, that time of potty training, we grab them from there. We start teaching them from there slowly as we gradually mold and change their life into adulthood. This is how you do susu, this is how you poo, wash your hands before you eat, make sure you eat healthy, make sure you pray, you know. Those are some of the small things we have to do. So we start from that stage and we continue gradually until we move them upward. Imagine if you come at the stage at the age of 15, 16, and you think you are training somebody, you'll be making noise, and it's not going to work. Why? Because you have missed the stage, the right time where they will be they accept instruction, where when they were vulnerable and available emotionally and needed you. And at the age of 15, they don't need you anymore. They are trying to figure out what to do with their lives. So it is important that we, catch these children at that tender age and make sure that we grab them, we hold their hands and move them in a gentle way. My grandmother used to say that children are like a tree. You cannot begin to straighten a tree when it is grown. The best way to do it is to tie it at that tender stage when it is still fragile and flexible. That's the only way you can make a tree grow straight. Because imagine if you try to straighten the branches when it is grown, when it is fully blown, when it's big enough, you will break the branches. That's the same way our children are. Just the same way they say a child is like a paper, a plain paper. If you do not write on them, then they will learn the rough way from somewhere else, or they will grow empty. For the parents who are not abiding with what the instruction of God when He said that we should train a child, you are the reason there is problem in the world. If there is a high rate of crime, that parent that is not training a child, you are one of them. We can't blame our parents for sure. There are certain things that children do that provokes parents, that make you want to go to prison willingly. But then don't forget that still, as a parent, you are supposed to be a role model, to do it differently, so that even as they grow up, they will also be doing it the way you have been doing it. Because if you use force, guess what? They will also apply force as they grow. If you look at the world of today, the rate of crime that is out there, the rate of divorce that is out there, the rate of so many things, sexual abuse, harassment, bullying in schools. Where are they coming from? They come from the way we raise our children. We are ruffians as African parents. Let's be honest. It is true that God has mandated us to train our children, but we will look further in second part of this video, where God is actually cautioning us and making us to do things the right way, because the Holy Spirit is gentle in spirit. God is gentle, by the way. He looks from far, He looks very dangerous, and He is, but He's very gentle. So if we are to apply what He is applying as God, then we should follow Him and be gentle in our discipline, in the way we cater for our children. We should do it with love. Now, depending on how we were raised, love may not come to us natural. It won't, because we were roughly brought up. We are tough by nature, so we don't have it. Personally, I don't have it. How was your life? You were slow. You slept very well. I checked you so many times and you're just sleeping peacefully.
When we were watching a movie night, we were watching Jurassic Park, it was like this.
When Brett woke up, I was sleeping there with him. Brett just woke up and started grabbing my towel. I was saying, Brett, this is my towel.
And
This is
then
my
he
towel.
just
And he grabbed it again. So when he went back to sleep, I grabbed my towel.
But
I covered him.
are you sure he brushed properly? It was just like 2 seconds.
I really struggle with showing affection to my children. The only thing that is helping me is that I am now aware that I have to do it differently. You see, so now I push myself to the wall. I put more effort to ensure that I do different. Like when my older children come to me, and for some reason I don't even know the children of today these days. Their love language seem to be touch. When my older children come for a hug, I kind of resist. Yeah, because I know what I know now. I now do different. At least in a day, I will find a way of telling them how I love them. Even if I find it so difficult to say it, I will just come and squeeze their hand or touch their hair or play with them. That is me saying that I love them, because it doesn't come to me naturally. You know? And for some men, for them, they think that showing love is having sex. So you find them going on a rampant spree of having sex because they think they're showing love, because they don't know how to do it. Men are suffering silently, quietly. They are not saying it because they don't have role models. They didn't have role models to show them how to be like real men. Now, so when parents, the older parents, when they were rough and they did whatever it is they did, they did it from that place of love. That does not mean that we should do the way they did, because it will not work for us. Our time is completely different. I take myself, I disappear from home for 3 months and then I come back. The only way I can reach my children is through technology. So we have to find a way, we have to develop a very creative way to ensure that we pass the same values that our parents passed to us, to these children, to help them from becoming wayward. You see, recently I watched a video on YouTube. It's not a video, but rather an interview on YouTube on a family that are going through a difficult time. A family of one famous Nollywood actor. Apparently, the wife just one day abandoned the 4 children in the home and just disappeared. And everybody was like talking down on that woman and saying a lot of things about how she would just abandon a family like that. But recently, when she opened her mouth in an interview, the whole world was shocked because she was going through a difficult time. Apparently, the husband was abusive. And then in a way, the husband also blackmailed or twisted the whole story and made the children hate their mother for a very long time. One thing that stood out for me is the fact that when the son of this woman mentioned that he was going to apologize to the mother said no. The son shouldn't. Rather, them as parents, they should be the ones to apologize to them because of the things that they have done. They have not displayed before them the right example. They did not live an exemplary life, and therefore they are the ones to apologize to their children because the children shouldn't have seen some of the things that they have seen. So now you see, as parents, we are one of the reasons that some children are the way they are today. Someone will say, even the pastor's children go astray. That is true, but we do not know the story of that pastor. The fact is that there are some parents Truly, there are some parents who are really doing the best that they could, and you can see that they are really trying, but the children just refuse to be corrected. But there are also these parents who just do not care about how the children grow. The children just grow like grass. So with our technology and all that, even when we are very far, we should reach our children, talk to our children, keep in touch with our children, reboot our communication system. Ensure that we are available emotionally, psychologically, physically, we are present. And show them that we care about them, that we create a safe place for our children. Otherwise, we are showing a wrong model, and guess what? We are going to fail. Let us not even talk about Africa. I like the fact that recently some of the African countries are adapting new ways, new syllabus in schools. Kenya is one of them. Kenya, they are completely changing their education system and syllabus. Uganda is following. Uganda is also doing the same. Some parents are moving their children from the national curriculum to international curriculum, just to place the children at a position where they can compete globally. Guess what? With the current changes, if we do not, strategize, if we do not put effort in ensuring that we do something, Africa will never grow. For Africa to grow, we need to change our lives. We need to change our strategy. We need to change the way we do things. And it starts with our children, because our time has passed. But our children will take it up from us, and they will go far with it. And they will change, starting with the continent of Africa, and then one day they will change the world. We are smart people. We have all the resources. We need to train our kids. We need to give them the skills. We need to expose them more. We need to correct them. We need to talk to them. We need to adapt some of the right, modern way of doing things, so that our kids will develop in the right way. They will be psychologically normal, emotionally stable, and socially competent. So if you have been with me throughout to this point, I request that you subscribe, like, and share, and let your friends know about this topic that I brought up, because it's about change. It's not only me. I cannot do it alone. It is me and you and somebody else. If we hold our hands, guess what? As parents, we will move the world together. So this is the first part of a video, and it's only the introductory part of where African parents stand with love and affection towards the children, what the Bible says, what the Muslims believe, and what all the other researchers are thinking of children and how to love them. And the best way we can bring up our children so that they will develop normally. In the second part, maybe in the next 2 or so days, I will upload another video that will talk about the African parenting style and the impact that they have on our children. And then we will conclude with the third part of the video, which will talk about how best we can effectively show affection to our children. The main purpose of this video is to raise awareness and to bring change in our parenting style as Africans, especially, so that we will improve the life of our children. So we'll talk more about this particular topic in the next video. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. My name is Stella Luka. I'm all up for family and work-life balance. Thank you so much, and stay blessed.